Sounds a bit horrible there.
Ted's still... No, yeah.
Just still as 17 severed arms. He's probably got a few spare.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go ahead, or...?
Yeah, go for it. I think Condor knows enough about what's going on, and then by the time we're all back in the assemble, we should be good.
Okay, well, phase one's pretty simple. There are bombs that drop on melee. I don't think they drop on range, do they?
They drop round him, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the tanks move the boss on a little bit when that happens, so that we don't run over the bombs. Don't run over the bombs if you're melee. They blow up. Surprise. And that hurts.
And everything else hurts you more.
Stuff that falls out of the sky, don't let it land on you. Especially the range, the big pools do kind of damage based on how close you are to them, so you want to be away from them. And then they turn into bonfires, which you can stand behind when you get marked for death. Marked for death is like a mechanic through the whole fight, so it's very important that we execute it properly. He will mark you, then you will use the line of sight in the first phase provided by the bonfires to take no damage. If you get hit by it, it punts you back and it leaves a heavy dot on you for a minute. So don't. There's a smash thing, which is in phase one is just a tank mechanic. It requires a tank switch, and ideally the tanks are building up some threat before then as well, because I've noticed that if they don't, he just kills them melee.
It's a full threat wipe, I think, on the tank that does it.
Yeah,
it does.
So you need to taunt when just after the smash, but not too soon. And obviously get punted back towards the middle rather than the edge, because the whole room gets slightly smaller as the fight goes on, as it fills up with magma from the edges. That's most of what happens in phase one. Should be able to handle that. Phase 2 is slightly more exciting. We no longer have bonfires to hide behind if you have marked for death, but he spawns a demolisher which fixates on the nearest person to him. This can be any class, spec or role. So it's very important that we use our friendly move and shoot people, I mean hunters, to
Chris has got Spirit Walker's Grace.
to stand near it and then kite it. It stays up for quite a long time. You can during this phase there's bombs falling out of the sky, which land, and then but they land kind of all over the room now instead of just around the boss, and you can run the demolisher over those to deal it some damage. It's got some armor plating, so it doesn't take very much damage until you get that off, and you get that off by standing behind it with the mark for death and getting the demolisher to intercept the shot for you. Once you've done that, you can DPS it. I'm not sure, there's differing opinions. For normal, I think you're meant to DPS it.
I want to say multi-dot and ranged executes to start with.
Has a lot of health, I know, and obviously melee shouldn't be after it, and if it's not obvious, it's because it punts you and does quite a lot of damage.
It's got like a frontal kind attack as well, so what's really calling it?
Yeah, so you need to kite it ideally through the bombs, but not through your friends. People need to be aware of where it is so they can stand behind it when they're marked, ranged, marked. I'm not sure if marked really targets melee until the third phase. Anyway.
It's not targeting melee at all.
Oh, okay,
or,
it doesn't.
but they can stay between, so they should watch the arrows.
The arrows on the boss, on his hitbox, show you where they're going out from. If you stand in between a marked death person, just like a bonfire, you will take the hit for them. This will hurt. The other exciting mechanic in the second phase is the smash is now slightly bigger and should be filled with melee people. That'll be me, Loshak, and Daz tonight. No? Explain. I think you're missing the point. We don't actually have any other melee DPS.
You don't have to have melee though.
No, it doesn't have to be melee, but
You could
people who can move fast and kill quickly in a bursty kind of
Like
way.
a hunter?
Hunter's doing the job of the demolishers.
The only other is whether or not it's worth sending Vicky up. I don't know if like Starfire will help clear or not.
It's not really AoE up there.
Is it just lots of
There's
single
lots
target?
of you get one and then you move on a
Very
couple of meters to the next one. So it's more like, I don't know if it's good for Starfall. Certainly the early ones, there's only like 3 or 4 up there anyway.
How many of the big siege guys are we going to have up at once?
1.
You should only ever have one.
You can send Grosnock up then, and I'll stay in Kite.
Okay. I mean, obviously you do need to DPS them to make sure that is true, but if everyone's putting their mark for deaths on them, the mark for deaths do kill it.
Yeah. And once they're taking like 50% extra damage from the bomb debuffs, I have a suspicion a couple of our dotting classes will be multi-dotting them whether I want them to or not.
And this phase gets harder as it goes on because the balconies fill up with bad guys who shoot us, and because some fiery shit lands on the floor and gets steadily bigger. Similar to the molten edges in the first phase, but it's a bit more obnoxious about where it is.
So who's making that like bashing keyboard?
Is it gone now?
Everyone bashed their keyboards, and then we went
Do you want the third phase now, or should we just see how far we get first?
Just one side note to the second phase. Everyone should use a range 6 to don't take avoidable damage, because that's really annoying for the healers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable.
Into will be spread. Choose a spot, kind of stick in it, unless a bomb forces you to move, mark for death forces you to move, or a demolisher coming towards you forces you to move.
Or if the demolisher's going away, you'll need to move so that you can get behind it in time.
You need to be close enough to it that you can reach
It'll
it
take
and
a
get
couple of
marked,
pulls to...
definitely.
People will just get used to that after a couple of pulls. For the third phase, all I'd like to say is go left with bombs and right with marked for death.
The tanks need to take it right to the edge.
And drop your bombs drop your bombs as close to the edge as you can while not being any of the massive amounts of death fire that's running around. And if you've got marked for death, it pierces, so really make sure you're not going to like slice anyone with it.
And the smash in the third phase, everyone has to stand in. You face your back towards the middle of the room, in a line with the boss. He will just punt you straight backwards. So you've got to be aware you're not getting punted into some of the fire that we're leaving behind, or off the platform.
Are we going to have to? Are we going to have to use Rob and Herf to soak the marked for death after the third ad is down? If all the melee are going up? Shadow Priests have tons of armour and they can disperse the initial hit.
Why would I need
You could just as easily use a hand of protection or an immunity for that. But yeah.
There should only be one mark for death, and you have to be unlucky to get a mark for death where there's nothing to hide behind.
Okay, that's fine. The tax was saying that there would be one potentially.
Yeah, there could
Half
probably.
of them was dead. If there is, can we get maybe Herf in it and see how that works? I don't know. It says it's on a plate, but they're likely to not be on the ground when that happens. So
yeah, we'll be up most of the time.
Yeah.
It chooses randomly, so as long as people are saying when they get it, which they probably will be doing.
Yeah, but when there's no ads up, the idea is that you don't let it choose randomly. You just put someone in his hitbox and they take them all.
Okay.
And then you only have to... Yeah, but then you only have to heal up one target with extreme prejudice rather than having to spot heal like 4 targets at once.
That makes sense.
And you get someone with a lot of armour. Like, it says use a platey, but don't priests have nearly as much armour now? In shadow form?
We do have 100% increased armour.
How much armour do you have? Just give me a number.
1512.
Right, so I've got 500 more than you, so...
Yeah.
I don't want to do it, but I could.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking you
Chris
won't
is
be
better
down.
than me. Chris
As
will
long
take
as you
it.
pick someone to do it, I'll give him hand protection. It's
Sig, what's
simple
your
and easy.
armor?
He's a healer.
You still stand there.
Well, he'll definitely heal himself.
Thing is, I've got a shield, which will give me benefit
Yeah,
over any
that's
of the
true.
others.
You've only got 20
Yeah.
HP, really. It's not that big.
Whoever does it, I think, probably assign Nath to keep them alive, I think. Is that right, Nath? Does that make sense?
So the balcony team is myself, Loshak, and Grushnok, with whichever tank is taking that smash. Just to reiterate it. Everyone clear and happy with that?
As clear and happy as I'm going to be.
I know Loshak's taken it with me before.
Can we just please estimate about the arrows? This is not just for melee to watch out for. The tank will be moving around, so range must keep an eye on it as well, and healers, so they're not in line with the arrow when it goes.
Yeah, everyone needs to take responsibility for that.
Yes.
Because
So
it
just,
hurts.
it's the marked for death. Watch it. That's what you're talking about, yes?
It's just that there's 2 arrows
Correct.
that go around the boss. Yes,
Yes.
the mark of
Yes,
death.
it's the marked for death. Okay, watch the marked for death. Don't catch it. Phase 3, everyone is eating marked punts unless they have the bomb debuff.
He's talking about phase 2 when he said that, Perth.
Yes.
If there
Okay,
was,
so
if
which
there
part
was,
in phase 2?
when there is no demolisher and there is a mark.
It's not a punt, it's the marked for death.
It is
There's-
a punt.
Okay.
The mark
Is
for
it a
death
punt?
is a punt.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not the big punt.
Be
That's
aware,
the
it
thing.
will knock you off the platform if you put yourself in a bad place in phase 3. Good news, everybody.
Well, I forgot you are not prepared. No, I'm not.
I'm prepared.
I am
That's
now.
about some other people. Alright, Conduct, presumably you're starting? Alright. Don't nab up.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Watch those bombs. Don't hit them. Don't stand in those.
And ideally, everyone stands behind the same...
Watch those bombs. Mark for death coming out now. Get it behind the... That's it.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. And if you stand behind the same one as the other person who's doing it, it only uses 1 up,
Correct.
Yeah.
which is better.
Next mark incoming.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Bombs again. It's going to transition in 5. Well, some percent.
2%.
5,
It's phase 1.
2,
I can shoot through the bonfires, this is okay.
Watch those bombs. That's nice. There we go.
And you want personals and tonics when we fall through the floor, not this time, but next time. Whee! Range 6.
Yeah, range 6 speed.
Smash in 5, melee team, and Grushnot.
Peacemaker.
Stand on the tank.
Oh, it's fixating on me for some reason.
Kill some things, then go down before your health has run out.
I'm just going to kind of run around the boss for a minute with this, I think.
Incoming mark.
Okay. Coming through the gap. Sorry, friends.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Marks out. Smash in 5.
Shit, is that dead already? Nice.
Just getting the smash.
1.
Here's the next one.
Who's that mad at?
Me.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Sorry, that was my bad.
5,
I think you can take it off me.
3.
I don't know if I can. Is it just literally following whoever's closest?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, I'm kiting it anyway.
52%. It's good.
Am I
We're
over
half.
dead?
Should be a new demo soon.
Smash soon. Get on the tank. That's that bomb.
1.
I missed again.
What's his marks?
Yeah, getting this tank down is going to be a massive problem. I'm going to bring it through the bombs.
Marks.
5,
Smash soon.
Crap.
Yeah, we maybe killed that a bit fast.
Yeah. Right, cool.
4, 3, 2, 1. 3.
Where's that? God damn it. Alright, Chris, are you right to just kite that?
Yeah. Sorry guys. Going through.
The tank has a right of way. Try and keep it a little closer to the boss maybe so that people can get behind it if that happens.
Get out here and fight.
5% from transition.
4.
I don't know if we need the siege maker down as we transition.
No.
Alright, just
Watch
focus on
out.
the boss then.
2, 1.
You are slow.
Go take a feed of mine.
Just come straight down from the smash. Don't stay up there.
Yeah, we're going to transition
Oh.
1%.
I'm sorry, guys.
I think it's got most of the mines anyway.
Personals. Onyx.
Okay, follow
Take
the
him
tanks.
to the edge. Thank you for the stampede.
Everyone stack up.
Bombs
Yep.
to the right, did you say?
Yep. Get those bombs away from us.
Okay, okay, stand him still now.
Where did you want
Facing the
mark?
other way, facing the other way. Should have a heroism. Getting
Yeah,
that
we've got-
smash.
Okay.
Oh crap. It was just
Fine,
a teeny tiny bit off.
Okay, people with... Yeah. Jesus.
Better pop a cooldown.
2, 1.
So is it bombs to the left or march to the left?
We'll take bombs left, we'll take marks right.
Okay.
But one of the things you need to make sure you're not doing is you're not standing between.
Will fuel the flames.
The bombs just need to be right at the edge.
Yeah. Like that one in the middle, that's not it's not great.
And
I'm
the rest
gone.
of the time, everyone should be stacked up right on top of each other.
Weak. 5, 4.
Did we
I'm
have 2 tanks a second ago?
5, 4.
We've got 2 reses, can we pick up anyone who's in range?
I definitely can't ank, by the way.
1.
That's all you
I'm done.
Can't or not willing to, Chris?
So that was alright actually for
Okay,
first call.
can.
Everyone's seen it now at least.
Oh shit. I'm out.
I didn't feel I was near the edge when he did that smash. I tried to step into it to help with the distributing it, and it just goes so far.
Okay, so we need to
Go a
be
long way.
a little tidier with the bombs and the dagger throws in that last phase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, once the tank's got to the edge, the tank shouldn't have to move. The bombs need to move off.
Yeah.
To make sure that, and obviously, if the tank goes straight to the edge, then the bombs should have an easier job getting away from them. Because if the tank has to move...
Yeah, there's lots of moving which caused a lot of us to get thrown off the edge, because when he did his hits, we were all out of line.
Tanks can stand still. If you have a debuff, go one side or the other. If you've got the bombs, go left. If you've got the other one, go right.
The tanks do get the bombs as well, which is the only point at which one of them should be moving. If the tank, if the current